I'm sure if the GeForce 210 knew what it wanted to be when it grew up, it would probably be this. Something that, well, still is considered trash. Alright, I'll play nice. Today, we're taking a look at the GT 220 from NVIDIA. Well, briefly anyway. This is from 2009, so this is based on the Tesla architecture. It has 48 CUDA cores and 1 whole gigabyte of VRAM on a 128-bit memory bus. Being that it's DDR2, I don't expect that this is going to perform very good. Now, I'm just using this as a basis for testing some methodology, trying to get into the swing of doing benchmarking videos with a capture card. And so this one's going to be a little bit quicker than all the future ones as I establish a list of games to try out and to play around with different hardware. And so the 220 is kind of the guinea pig for this testing. And I still had a lot of fun goofing with this thing, even if it looked terrible on camera. And I'm sure that in the future we can pull this back out and we can try some more games with it, should we get better with the game library and the quality of the testing and all that nonsense. So with the intro out of the way, let's see what this 48 CUDA core beast can do, or probably rather can't do, going into 2024 and beyond. So, are you ready to be mystified by the power that is the GT 220? Probably not. Starting off first, we have Golf with Your Friends. Now, I think this game has started to phase out the DX10 support. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what's actually happening, as you'll probably soon see later in this video. But for the settings, we're using 720p resolution, of course, and the low video quality preset. And if I scroll down, you can see all the settings down there. I normally test with the Worms map, as I feel it's probably one of the most GPU demanding ones. The Escapist is probably more or less for testing the CPU performance, but I'm going to use Worms today for this. Alright, so far so good. And we'll start counting frame rate now. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that maybe Unity was actually dropping support, this might not be terrible. The advantage to this being the 1 gigabyte variant of the GT220, and this is literally all it's got going for it, is the fact that it can actually store all the requested amount of VRAM natively into VRAM, and we don't have to worry about it swapping into system RAM. Not that it makes the card any better, but it certainly does help. It has its advantages. They kind of nerfed the smoke effects on the low preset. Then again, this game, like I said, it's kind of weird with all that stuff. Oops. Oh yeah, I was also going to note, there's a bug with the low preset. Over here, there's supposed to be a tank right in the middle of the screen, and it's not there on the low preset. Every other preset has that tank there, but you can still see the smoke coming off of it. I'm not sure why that's the way it is, but it is, so whatever. Ooh, getting a little dip heavy into this section, probably because of all of the smoke and the explosions going on over there. But we're still above 30 FPS. Now, that's kind of the thing with this game, is that, besides me playing terribly, you don't really need a crazy high amount of FPS, in my opinion, to play it. Although, of course, it certainly helps with regards to input lag. But you don't really need to have a super high competitive frame rate. Like, you can get away with even just 60 FPS, and it'll be totally fine for most people, I think. Like, this is more or less supposed to be like a... this is supposed to be more of like a casual game, nothing crazy. Especially if you can actually, like, you know, play it. I almost just made the same mistake again. That dipped from 30 there, did you see that? Jeez. Ooh, that might have been too much. Oh, that was so close. I think hole 12 is where this usually crashes on this card. So, yeah, 45 FPS on average. It's not terrible. I would certainly want better, though, especially if I'm going to be playing this game. But yeah, you can see graphical issues out the wazoo. You can see the teleporter guy. And then, yep, that's about what I expected. Great job. I don't expect that this is actually going to work. We have GTA 5 here, and about the only thing that's going for this card is the 1 gig of VRAM. Not that that's actually saying much, but we have, well, 720p resolution and the lowest in-game settings. Of course, that's normal, and all of the advanced graphics are turned off. We do not have any resolution scaling going on right now, but I believe this game also, like Golf with Your Friends, has a lovely issue with regards to crashing. So we'll be experiencing that shortly. So, okay, we have a pretty decent starting frame. Oh, maybe not. Apparently looking at this doorway, it's good, and then you step outside, and yeah, all goes basically downhill from here. But here's the problem, and this is something, I don't know if it's just exclusive to me, but if I press pause, that happens. Don't know why. I think it's got something to do with the drivers and Windows 11 being incompatible with each other. I've also had this happen in Windows 7, so, you know, before the game actually cut Windows 7 support. So I think it's just something to do with NVIDIA Tesla in this game. They just don't get along with each other. So it kind of sucks, but not like it would have been playable anyway, so we'll just move on to the next game. Okay, I think I got this working, although I don't expect it's going to run very good. So this is Wolfenstein The Old Blood from 2015, I think it is. And this does technically run on DX10, although I have a feeling it's not going to appreciate this GPU. So we got 720p resolution, and I have tried to turn all the settings down as low as they can go, with maybe the exception of the virtual texture CUDA acceleration. That might come in handy, but I'll just go through all the other settings here. They should be basically like as low as they can possibly go. So yeah, you can reference that if you want. So let's go ahead and see if we have a problem. Okay, so far so good. Can we skip the movie? Yes, I can. All right, now we can start a benchmark run.
The weight of the world on your shoulders, Agent Blazkowicz?
I've got pretty solid shoulders, Agent 1.
Well, we're losing.
Ooh, that's nasty frame rate right there.
HQ's put a tight lid on it. General death
Had a feeling. Had a feeling. I think if an overclock might be a little better, but you probably want something that's going to be just generally more powerful than this. That's my 2 cents on the matter. I think this game actually has desync issues with regards to the low frame rate. It expects to be run at 60 FPS because that's how it ran on the consoles. The Xbox One specifically comes to mind. But yeah, you definitely want to have a I can't even speak because of the dialogue. You definitely want to have more frame rate than this. That's for sure.
What a good team.
Commandant Franz aus Frankfurt. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Fuck it.
But yeah, if you haven't played through these modern Wolfenstein remakes, it's definitely worth a playthrough. They're pretty good.
Augenblick, warten Sie. Aus Frankfurt. Sind Sie Frankfurter?
Ja, ein...
This part's funny. Hot dog.
Das war ein komischer Kauz. Die spinnen die abends Hotdog. Die werden sich wundern, wenn wir an der Macht sind. Weiter. Kreta. Bei Fuß.
Basically almost gets them caught. I love that scene.
We can launch an assault on his base of operations.
Ooh, it's getting nasty again. Ooh.
Around and be back just in time for tea.
Now that we're actually like in the game, I'm surprised it's actually kind of working. Kind of. Those textures do not look pretty. Although, that's not necessarily the card's fault. I think I remember you could do stealth kills. You sneak up behind somebody. Don't remember. Ooh, yeah, it's definitely getting a little input laggy. That is a for sure. It's not too happy. Well, I think I'm going to call it with this. 28 FPS on average. Not too good. So let's move on to the next one. I wish it was playable, but yeah, no, not quite. Alright, here we are in Grid Autosport from 2014, and I think for this we're going to run 1366 by 768 for the resolution. Of course, we're going to use the ultra low preset, and we'll just run the built-in benchmark test and see what happens. Ooh, frame rate's looking good. We're in the low hundreds. Well, maybe not so much. We'll see. Okay. That's pretty respectable, I would say. Mid, high 80s. Ooh, touching into the hundreds there, too. Although that won't last very long. Alright, there's our final result. I just killed the benchmark there. 93 as the average, 1% low of 72. Alright, that's not bad. That's certainly usable. Well, the game says 92.85, but round up it's 93. Yeah, that's not bad. I will say that's a win. Of course, you could probably tweak with the settings a little more, but that's probably what I would use because you want to keep your frame rate high in a game like this, so that way your input lag is as low as it possibly can be, so you can be more competitive. But no, that's a good result. I like that. Okay, let's try Left 4 Dead 2 from 2009, about where this card would come from. I'm going to do 1366 by 768 at all the lowest settings in the game, and we'll see how we do. I'm going to try to pick a map. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I think what I usually like to do, which one was pretty intensive? Swamp Fever, I think, was the one that usually gets this stuff running pretty well. Let me see. I think that was the one. Yeah, it was the Swamp Fever. So let's go ahead and start there. Okay, we can start our benchmark run here. I fully expect that it's going to go down in the midst of combat when stuff starts heating up. So this frame rate looks nice, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be all that great once it actually gets started. Let's see. Alright, it looks like I am Nick. That's fine. Grab the shotgun. Alright. And away we go. Hey, buddies. Who's in here? Oh, there's actually some paint pills on the floor. I'll grab those. Everybody's ahead of me at trying to shoot these things. It's definitely getting a little lower in the frame rate department. Oh, charger! Oh, look. There is the funny boy. Gotta love the tank. I'll keep the tank fended off. I feel like we got the tank, and I did most of the damage for myself. Yeah, that's useful. Alright, let's go call over the boat. This is gonna start the real fun.
I'm calling over the ferry.
Holy crap. And they're gone. Yeah. We're screwed. Yep, we're screwed. Yeah, well, that's good enough. 81 FPS. This is definitely playable. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, now we've got a Hat in Time. This game favors NVIDIA cards, and it'll run on these old ones too, although how well is debatable. We'll see. This one I'm running at 720p with pretty much all of the settings as low as they can go, including this post-processing resolution, which I don't know what that's supposed to actually change, but whatever. The only one I have not turned off is this pre-cached shaders toggle, just because you kind of need that. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll get this save file out of the way, and I'll start a new one, and we'll start the benchmarking. Okay, now that we're here in game after the initial sequence, we can go ahead and start our benchmark run here. And this game is DirectX 9, so I have a feeling that we're probably going to see some stuttering because it's, you know, even though it's optimized for NVIDIA and it does run best on an NVIDIA card, it's still susceptible to stuttering. That's just a thing with this game. So, in any case, head over here, press the button. Now here's the part where it starts to get kind of intensive. You do this effect, and look at that nice frame rate dip. You gotta like how that like wind effect really tanks the frame rate. And then when it's not on the screen, suddenly, magically, it's not as bad. But then you see that smoke effect, or the wind effect, and it just totally tanks it. Yeah, alright, 58 FPS, that's good enough. Let's see what happens when we get to the first stage. Okay. Ooh, yeah. No, that's not too pretty in the frame rate. Ooh, there's a nasty dip to 30. Although, input lag aside, it's actually tolerable. Although I probably locked the frame rate so that way it stays consistent. Seems like it's a little bit all over the place, and yeah, stuff. Oh, yes, stuff like that. Like, ugh. Some dips below 30. Ooh. That was, yeah. I mean, those are like little one-time things, but those little one-time things do add up a bit. Ooh, it's like stuttering and like having weird issues with the frame times. Yeah, no, this would, you definitely want to lock the frame rate on this. Probably like 30. Maybe like overclock the card a little bit, because like, yeesh. Alright, combat scene. That was instant. Just X, 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 X. Oh, man. Alright, 41 FPS. Not brilliant. And especially that end transition. Oof. Yeah. I'm going to go on a whim. I'm going to say technically playable. But I would certainly not recommend it to people. And probably not with a card like this. I think a modern solution, even the Nintendo Switch port, is going to perform a lot better than this. So, moving on. Alright, here we are in Dota 2. Now, I'm not going to play a match. I'm just going to watch one, which will basically do the same effect as if we were to play the game, basically. 1366 by 768, but we're at 88% resolution scale, so the resolution will be up in the top right corner of the screen, which I'm aiming the wrong way, but whatever, you get the idea. So yeah, all the lowest settings, none of the advanced settings are turned on. And, well, let's see if I can find a match to watch. It's kind of not working. Okay, and we are live. Let me go ahead and start a benchmark here, and I'm just going to watch this stream and see how we do. Ooh. Already getting into the deep end there. Oh, wow. Gotta love it. This is not boding very well. I mean, if you're a casual player, this might be okay.
Radiant
But,
structures are fortified.
yeah. Yeah, stuff like that might be alright, but yeah. This person, like, keeps flicking around. Maybe I'm not no Dota player, so of course I'm not going to be a magician at this and assume I know what I'm talking about here, but yeah. It looks like it can be playable, but especially when you get into the more advanced attacks, you're definitely going to be running up against this card's just overall lack of power. Those 48 CUDA cores are only going to get you so far these days, that's for sure. So yeah, I'll keep this one short. It looks like it's not too bad. It can definitely dip, like right there, where it dips into the 30s, and it could definitely dip below 30 FPS, but it looks like, for the most part, it kind of sticks within the mid to high 40s, kind of. It really just depends on what's on screen and what the characters are doing. So yeah, I think we'll call it there. That's not bad. So I don't know what to expect with this one. This is Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition from 2014, I think. The original game came out in 2012, so I guess we'll see what happens. Let's see. Custom. What does it give me for advanced options? Quality anti-aliasing. Oh, it's always on. Oh, that's fun. Let's turn everything as low as it can go. Okay, that should be fine. And then for the resolution, let's go ahead and do ourselves a favor. Let's do 1280 by 720. Alright. Oh, the menu's kind of covered up by the UI, but that's alright. Oh, this is the actual in-game sequence, I think, pretty quick. Oh, this is not going to be pretty. Oh, it's also like this in-game. Oh, no.
You see anyone? I think they're after Wolf. Crazy
Oh.
fuck.
Yeah, nope. Nope.
Oh shit! Run, run!
Oh, the input lag is real. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's kind of responding, but yeah.
Stay with me.
Oh my goodness.
Fish, I hate fish. Are you crazy? Keep moving.
Ooh.
哎呀，哇哇哇哇！我哋而家要拘捕你。
Yeah, no, I couldn't play this. That's too slow for me. But it's a good game, though. You should definitely play it if you haven't. So then, the GT 220. Is it really worth it? Well, no, not really, and I'm pretty sure you saw that coming. Let's be real. This is just a display adapter. This is not meant to be a gaming card. You can play games on this. It is possible to at 720p. And in fact, if you overclocked a GT 220, you might actually get pretty decent results out of it for like a $10 or whatever GPU, maybe less than that. But anything more than $10, $15 these days, which even then that's a bit much in my opinion, you're just better off buying something with newer API support. Even DX11 cards from Fermi are going to perform way better than what this thing would ever be able to do. And that's just because of the architectural improvements. I mean, they have better VRAM as well. I mean, this is just a DDR2 card, but it's got a wider memory bus. But that doesn't mean that's the same for all GT 220s. And of course, obviously there's going to be much faster GPUs from this generation anyway. But besides the point, the 220, in my opinion, don't even bother with it. If it comes as part of a PC, sure, you can play around with it for a little while, but I wouldn't go out of your way to go out and buy one of these specifically for gaming, unless you just want something to use as like a benchtop kind of testing motherboard to see if it posts kind of video card. That's really what this is for. It's not meant for really any kind of gaming, although again, some games might run just fine, but that's not really going to help this thing's case any. So probably would just be better off to buy something more modern with better API support and not mess with something like this if you are needing to buy a GPU, in my opinion. So yeah, with that, I know that I didn't test all kinds of different games today. I just tested some that I know would run or at least start on this card that just, helps to show the era that this is from. It's from a real bygone era, the early 2010s and older, and really anything newer than that, and you're just going to be struggling these days as far as game support, stuff that'll actually run. And even in Windows 11, there's issues where the display will freeze if it goes to sleep, and you have to do a Control-Alt-Delete for some reason to get to the security screen and then exit back out, and then it starts working again. So Windows 11 compatibility is hampered because of the architecture of this card, and it really just, in my opinion, it's just not really worth anybody's time, especially these days. So yeah, I think that sums up the 220. It's not exactly terrible and horrible like the 210 is, but it's still also bad. It doesn't really do that much in the way of improving gaming performance. Maybe at 720p or lower, you might get lucky, but that's about it. So with that, if you enjoyed, well, then you can press the little thumbs up button down below. I'm going to try out this format of videos to see how well it works, so give me some feedback down below if there are things that I can certainly try to improve the quality. I'll probably play around with MSI Afterburner a little bit more, maybe see if I get a better font that'll allow some more game UI to show instead of the entire UI. I just wanted to throw something in there just to experiment for today. And of course, with that having been said, you can subscribe. Of course, if you want to see more videos from me. I do upload rather infrequently, so it may be of your benefit to click the bell while you're down there. And with that, it's time to say farewell to the 220. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next video.